I am 100% in favor of free speech. Not because I agree with everyone. Evidently, I do not. In fact, there are many people whose views I strongly disagree with. Some opinions frustrate me. Some anger me. Some I believe are completely wrong. And yet, I will still defend their right to say them. Why? Because free speech is not a reward for having the correct opinion. It is not a privilege reserved for people you like. It is not something that only applies when we agree with the message. The easiest person in the world to defend is someone who already agrees with you. The true test of whether you believe in free speech is whether you are willing to defend the rights of someone whose views make your blood boil. Because principles mean nothing when they cost nothing. History has shown us this lesson repeatedly. Every generation believes it has finally found the right people to silence. Every generation believes censorship will only ever be used against the guilty, the hateful, the dangerous, the wrong. And every generation eventually discovers the same uncomfortable truth. Power never stays where you leave it. Free speech was never designed to protect popular opinions. Popular opinions do not need protection. The crowd protects them. Institutions protect them. Governments protect them. The media protects them. Free speech exists to protect the individual standing alone. The dissident, the reformer, the whistleblower, the journalist exposing corruption, the citizen asking questions nobody else is willing to ask. History is filled with people we now celebrate as heroes who were condemned by their own societies. People who challenged slavery, people who fought for religious freedom, people who demanded equal rights, people who exposed abuses of power. At the time, many were labeled dangerous, divisive, extremist, a threat to society. The labels change, the mechanism never does. Society has a very strange habit of building statues to yesterday's dissidents while trying to silence today's. That contradiction should concern all of us. The people demanding censorship almost always believe they are acting morally. They believe they are protecting society. They believe they are defending the vulnerable. They believe they are targeting only the right people. What they fail to understand is that censorship is not a weapon that remains in one set of hands. Governments change, political movements change, cultures change, public opinion changes. And the tools created to silence your enemies eventually find their way back to you. That is why I become nervous whenever someone says, I'm not against free speech, but. Because that is usually the moment the principle begins to die. Of course, there are limits. Direct threats, incitement to violence, harassment, defamation. Nobody disputes that. But increasingly, we are told that disagreement is violence, that criticism is hate, that questions are harmful, that offense itself is evidence of wrongdoing. And once a society reaches that point, it stops defending free speech and starts defending approved speech. There is a profound difference. The answer to bad speech has never been censorship. The answer is better speech. The answer to ignorance is education. The answer to lies is truth. The answer to bad ideas is exposing them to scrutiny and allowing them to collapse beneath the weight of their own weakness. Censorship does not defeat bad ideas. It drives them underground. It turns fools into martyrs. It replaces debate with fear. And fear has never been the foundation of a free society. Speech is not violence. Offense is not harm. And no human being has the right to move through life protected from ideas they dislike. Freedom is not comfortable. It was never supposed to be. The price of living in a free society is accepting that other people will sometimes say things that piss you off, frustrate you, offend you, even disgust you. That is the price. And it is a tiny price compared to the alternative. Because once a society begins deciding which opinions are permissible, the question is no longer whether freedom will shrink, only who will be next. Every censor believes they are building a weapon for the good of society. Every censor believes they are one of the good people. Every censor believes they will always be the one deciding what can and cannot be said. And then the tide turns. It always turns. And suddenly the power they applauded is being used against them. That is the lesson history has been screaming at us for centuries. Free speech is not designed to protect comfortable opinions. It is designed to protect freedom itself, even for people I disagree with, especially for people I disagree with. Because if free speech only exists for approved opinions, it does not exist at all. The day you lose the right to speak your mind is the day somebody else gains the power to think on your behalf. And there is no tyrant in history who did not begin there. The death of free speech does not begin with chains. It begins with applause. And by the time people realize what they have lost, the voices capable of warning them have already been silenced.